Your dev team is expensing $20 a seat for Cursor. Yesterday, Meta shipped a coding agent that runs for 10 cents per million tokens if you take one deal. 10 cents. Read that number twice, because half the headlines this morning called it free, and it is not free. It is the most interesting pricing decision I have seen in coding tools all year. And if you are the person signing the invoices in your business, it lands directly on your desk this week. I am Stewart Vickers. Meta released Muse Code and Muse Spark 1.2 on the 5th of August. Muse Code is the agent, the thing that reads a whole codebase and rewrites it. Muse Spark 1.2 is the model underneath the brain the agent uses. The reason your inbox is about to fill with DevTool announcements is that Meta co-trained them together, so the tool and the brain are matched instead of stitched. Agentic means exactly that at business scale. Point it at a repo, walk away, come back to work done. Here is what is coming in the next 10 minutes. I will tell you the real pricing, what your Cursor and Copilot and Windsurf line items look like against it, the same day proof that the whole coding agent category just changed, the one clause on the pricing page that decides whether your business can actually use it, and the 3 moves I want you making before Friday. The clause is the sentence most operators are going to skim right past. Meta published 2 model IDs. The standard tier is $1.25 per million tokens in, $4.25 per million out. It sits next to Gem in i3.6 Flash. Normal API pricing, no drama. The contributor tier is 10 cents per million in, 20 cents per million out. 12 times cheaper on input, 21 times cheaper on output. The catch is one sentence. You let Meta use your data to improve their products, which means your source code, which means the API call your developer just ran through Muse Code is training material for the next Muse Spark. You pay in code, not in dollars. The clause is on the pricing page in plain English. It is also the sentence every YouTube video calling this free is skipping over today. Here is the headline answer, the one the title promised. Your Cursor subscription is not dead this week, but it stopped being a line item you can ignore. The question moved from which coding IDE do we buy to which data policy do we accept. The dev lead does not make that call alone anymore. It touches compliance, it touches legal, and it touches whichever founder in your business is worried about competitor code turning up in a Meta training run 6 months from now. Getting the answer right is a business decision, not an IT ticket. If you are the one signing those invoices and you want the weekly translation of what changed for your dev budget, subscribe to this channel and jump into the Church of SEO Jesus. It is my free school community. Every week, another Meta or another Anthropic ships something like this, and the operators who move first eat the ones waiting for a Wall Street Journal write-up. Inside are the prompts, the playbooks, the cancel this, renew that checklists from these videos, and the exact vendor emails you send this week to lock in a better rate before your renewal date. Free, no card, no upsell hiding inside. Link in the description and the pinned comment. Now the proof, because this is not only Meta. Same day Muse Code shipped, Simon Willison ran Claude Fable 5 through a single prompt to build a 3D browser game called the Raccoon-heist. Multi-file project, playwright self-testing, texture generation, mobile responsive, 1 unattended session. 2 different vendors, same day, and both of them can now build an entire small project without a human in the loop. Meta shipped their entry, Anthropic proved theirs. It is not a Meta scoop, it is a category shift, and Wednesday was the day the shift became obvious to anyone still paying attention. If you are still telling your team AI coding tools were toys for autumn cleat, the story does not hold anymore, and the 6-month roadmap sitting in your project manager's doc probably needs a rewrite by Monday. So what does it mean for your invoice? Cursor Pro is about $20 a seat per month. Copilot Business is $19. Windsurf Pro is $15. Claude Code sits around $20. For a 5 developer team, you are somewhere between $75 and $100 a month per tool. Add a second tool because your team disagrees on which is better and the number doubles, times 12 months, times however many teams you have. Somebody in your business decided the number was worth it and probably has not reviewed it since sign up. On the contributor tier of Muse Spark 1.2, a developer running the agent hard all day costs pennies, not per seat, total. A developer burning 1 million tokens a day is spending 30 cents. Compare that to $20 a seat times 30 days. The difference is not a rounding error, it is a full order of magnitude. If you are willing to feed Meta the code, and only if, here is the honest read on the trade. If your codebase is a wrapper on a public API, a marketing site, an internal admin panel, boring plumbing any competitor could rebuild in a week, the contributor tier is a straight win. Meta gets more code to train on, you cut a line item by 90%, nobody serious loses anything. If your codebase is the actual product, if it is the pricing engine, the matching algorithm, the customer data model, the thing your competitor would pay a headhunter to reverse engineer, do not touch the contributor tier with a stick. Run it on the standard tier for a week as an evaluation, keep it out of the sensitive repos, and let your dev team benchmark it against what you are already paying for. A real answer, not a headline. It does not fit on a thumbnail, which is why the loud videos this week are getting it wrong. You want to verify this yourself. Open llmprices.com right now, search Muse Spark 1.2. Look at the two rows, standard tier and contributor tier. The 10 cents next to contributor is the proof, not me telling you. Here is what your competitor did this morning. Their founder read Willison's blog post over coffee. Switched their solo developer to the contributor tier because their whole codebase is a Shopify wrapper nobody serious cares about. Cut their coding tool spend from $300 a month to about $12. Bought themselves 3 extra months of runway out of last quarter's ad budget. They did not tell anyone. They are not going to. You find out when they ship features faster than you for the next quarter, and you cannot figure out why. The window looks like a locked door from the wrong side of it. From the right side, it looks like a Tuesday. Now to what to do this week, because there is a version of this video that ends in vague get ready for the future talk, and I refuse to write it. 3 moves. 1. Pull up the last invoice from your dev tool vendor, Cursor, Copilot, Windsurf, whichever. Count the seats, multiply by 12, write the annual number down, and put it somewhere you will see it every day. The annual number is what a phone call to your vendor's retention team is worth right now. 2. Forward the Muse Spark 1.2 pricing page to your lead developer or your agency with 1 sentence. Test this against a non-sensitive repo this week, report back Friday with what it did well and what it broke. You want the actual output, not the vibe. Attach a 2-line brief. What task, what result, what would you have paid a human to do it? 3. Do not renew anything for at least 30 days, not 1 seat. The category is repricing in real time, and every renewal you sign this month locks you into yesterday's floor for another year. If the vendor pushes back, quote them the contributor tier number and watch what they offer. One more thing worth naming, because I do not want you buying the entire industry's spin on this either. Cursor is not just a model, it is an editor, it is a workflow. It is a set of habits your developer already has, and habits are the most expensive thing to rip out of a working team. Meta shipping an API-priced agent does not automatically replace the daily driver IDE experience your team actually uses. What it does do is put a price ceiling on every coding tool that charges per seat. Your developer can now benchmark the tool they like against the raw agent plus model Meta shipped, and the delta between the $20 seat and the 12-cent day has to be worth something visible on the invoice. If it is not, the vendor has a problem and you are the one holding the whip. So here is the story. Meta shipped a coding agent on Tuesday. The pricing is not free, the interesting tier costs pennies and asks for your source code as the payment. The compliance decision is now more important than the tool decision. Your competitor is already testing it. The window before every other vendor rebuilds their pricing around the shipping date is measured in weeks, not months. Tomorrow I am covering what happened when a new GPT release quietly changed a default setting nobody read, and it just made customer support tools across half the market answer completely different questions than they did yesterday. Somebody eats a lawsuit over it before the end of the month.